Ace, where have you been? The boys and girls are here and they're waiting to hear the 3 tales about money. Hello there, my name's Emma and this is Ace. We have a fantastic story for you today. Now, the story may seem like one you know, but the characters in it are a little bit different. Are you sitting comfortably? And are you bouncing comfortably, Ace? Let's begin. Cinderella lives with her 2 grumpy sisters. Not only are they grumpy, they are lazy too. Cinderella spends all her time clearing up after her sisters, cooking for them, and washing and ironing their clothes. No matter how hard she works, nothing is ever good enough. To make matters worse, Cinderella's feet ache. She is on them all day, and with her toes crammed into uncomfortable, worn-out shoes, she can think about little else. All day long, Cinderella dreams about comfortable shoes. But these are not any old shoes. They are the most stylish, most comfortable sports shoes ever worn. Every evening, when all the housework is finished, Cinderella works quietly in her room, drawing page after page of beautiful sports shoes. The grumpy sisters do not notice. They are too busy complaining and trying to impress the handsome prince. Then, one day, an invitation to the royal ball arrives. The sisters are very excited, but none more so than Cinderella. Could this be her ticket out of here? Cinderella looks down at her sore feet. How can I possibly dance in shoes like these, she sighs, looking longingly at the shoe designs on her table. Suddenly, Cinderella's fairy godmother appears. You shall go to the ball, Cinderella, she says, but you don't need to marry a prince to get away from all this. You have everything you need for success and happiness right inside of you. Now you come to mention it, says Cinderella. I have always wanted to design sports shoes. With a wave of her magic wand, the fairy godmother changes a pumpkin into a sewing machine, the dishcloths into rolls of soft leather, and a wooden spoon into a pair of sharp scissors. Cinderella and her fairy godmother begin work on one of Cinderella's designs, and in no time they have made one of the most fabulous pairs of sports shoes imaginable. Later that evening, Cinderella arrives at the ball, proudly wearing her new shoes. They are admired by everyone. They are so springy, so bouncy, so stylish, and so comfortable that she flies around the dance floor. When the manager of Enchanted Forest Football Club sees her light-footed moves, he asks her to make football boots for his whole team. The boots work like magic, and the team wins every match of the season. Cinderella decides to open shops selling her footwear in every town and calls the shops Glass Slipper Sports. She becomes world famous. Everyone wants a pair of her amazing shoes. Did you know you can make money out of your hobbies, Ace? Yep, that's right. Just look at Cinderella. She loved shoes and now people pay her to make them. Do you have any hobbies? So good, Ace. If you keep practicing at your hobby, one day people might pay you to play a tune for them. Wouldn't that be a fun way to make money? You could buy a house. What would your dream house look like? Cozy. And speaking of houses, I think it's time to pay a visit to someone I think you may have heard of. Her name is Sleeping Beauty. Meanwhile, the prince, who did not meet anyone he wanted to marry at the ball, rides off in search of a bride. He has heard that there is a beautiful sleeping princess who has fallen under the spell of a bad fairy. She has been sleeping for nearly 100 years, and he hopes to break the bad fairy's spell by waking her with a kiss. After all, isn't that what fairy tale prince is supposed to do? Sleeping Beauty's garden is overgrown because while she was sleeping, there was nobody to mow the lawn or prune the hedges. After fighting his way through the tangled bushes, the prince finally arrives at the front door and rings the doorbell. Sleeping Beauty wakes up from her deep sleep, puts on her slippers and dressing gown, and goes to see what all the noise is about. But what is this she finds? There, on the doormat, lies an enormous pile of letters. 100 years is a long time, and an awful lot of post has arrived. Sleeping Beauty picks up a letter from the top of the pile. To her surprise, it is from her bank. All the pocket money she put in the bank on her 18th birthday had been growing while she slept, just like the pile of letters, and she now has enough money saved up to do whatever she wants. Did you hear that, Ace? If you save up enough money, you can buy more of the things you like. What would you like to buy with your savings? Let's see. That's £40. You don't have quite enough money yet. Hey, don't worry, Ace. If you wait patiently like Sleeping Beauty and keep saving all the money you put in your money box, it will build up. While we wait, do you want to hear the rest of the story? Sleeping Beauty has forgotten all about the ringing at the front door. She opens it to find a young man standing there. I am Prince Charming, he says. I've come to wake you with a kiss and to take you for my bride. Thank you, says Sleeping Beauty, but I don't need a kiss because all your noisy ringing has already woken me up, and I'm certainly not going to marry you. We've only just met. Perhaps you could join me for a cup of tea instead. All that sleeping has made me very thirsty. The Prince and Sleeping Beauty both enjoy a cup of tea while she opens the rest of her post. Oh Ace, look at your savings. They're all growing because you waited patiently. Now you have enough money to buy a tennis racket. Quick, go and get it before the shops close. Now, where were we? That's right. Sleeping Beauty was opening the post in bed. One of the letters is from her friend Rapunzel, who is trapped in a tower, held prisoner there by a wicked witch. The tower has no stairs and no doors, so Rapunzel is waiting to be rescued by a handsome prince. What can be taking him so long, she thinks. Rapunzel looks down at her long hair, which now almost touches the ground, and decides that she has had enough of all this waiting and will take matters into her own hands. Taking out a pair of sewing scissors, Rapunzel cuts off her long hair, ties it firmly to the window frame, and uses it as a rope to lower herself out of the window. Free at last, Rapunzel visits the wicked witch to give her a piece of her mind and decides to make her an offer. Rapunzel has plans. She borrows money from the bank to turn the tower into 3 beautiful flats, adding doors and a staircase, as well as beautiful kitchens, bathrooms, and bedrooms. She decides to live in the top one herself. It has magnificent views. Rapunzel invites her friends Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty to live in the other 2 flats, and in return they give her money each month, which helps her to repay the money she has borrowed. After a while, she receives enough money to buy more towers for more people to rent. Rapunzel is now a free woman who earns lots of money and is able to live well. She even has some spare money which she can use to buy a share in Cinderella's new and exciting sports shoe business. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Rapunzel are all successful young women. They have used their brains, imagination, and good sense to earn enough money to look after themselves without a Prince Charming in sight. They decide to start a special club called the Fairy Godmothers, where they use their money to help other clever young people with brilliant ideas. And guess what? They all live happily ever after. What a great story. So in the end, the princesses didn't need a prince to save them. They set up their own businesses, saved their money, and then spent it very wisely. Rapunzel could have bought herself lots of ice cream, but instead she was smart and bought the tower. Oh Ace, did you buy a tennis racket? What did you spend your money on? You spent your money on glue to fix your money box. That's wise because it's important to take care of your money. Thanks to our princesses, Ace has learnt some new money skills. I hope you enjoyed the stories as much as Ace has. Maybe you'll buy a tower one day, or set up your own shoe business, or any business you want. Now that you've learned how to save and spend money, you can do anything. Thanks for listening.